Is it really the recession is going to hit the USA and rest of the stock market in the world? Is it really the stock market is going to crash once again? Is it really you are going to lose your entire investment once again that you have already seen 2 years back? If you want to get the answer of these questions, kindly see the entire video. At the end of the video, you will get all of your answers. To analyze whether or not the economy is really going under recession, we will analyze 3 things. Number 1, GDP growth rate. Number 2, unemployment. And number 3, inflation. In this video, we will analyze the economy of USA, economy of Europe, and the economy of our own country, India. And we will analyze the economic stability of these 3 countries on the basis of these 3 main parameters. And we will analyze whether or not these 3 economies is going to go under recession. If you see the US economy, you will see that US GDP has gone down at negative zone in the first quarter of 2022, and it has shown a negative growth of 1.6%. In the fourth quarter of 2021, the GDP was increased by 6.9% from the previous quarter. And then sharply it has gone down and shown a negative growth of 1.6%. And the next forecast regarding the US GDP is likely to come on July 28, 2022. And if this quarter also US GDP shows a negative growth like earlier quarter, then the economy will enter into the recession. And in the month of May 2022 and in the month of April 2022, the personal income level has increased by 0.5%. And this is a good news for the economy. The second thing that need to be discussed is the unemployment rate. If you see the unemployment rate of United States, you will find that it has gone down from 5.4% from the month of July 2021 to 3.6% in the month of June 2022. This sharp decline shows that employment is increasing in United States and gradually it is going down, and now it is standing at 3.6% in last 4 quarters of 2022. That is a good news from the employment perspective of the country. The disposable personal income has also increased by 96.5 billion or 0.5%, and the personal consumption expenditures has also increased by 32.7 billion or 0.2%. The real DPI has decreased 1% in the May. Now if you focus on the unemployment insurance claim data, then you will find that 4,000 more jobless claim has been reported from its early week, and early week it was 2,31,000. now it has come 2,35,000. This additional 4,000 job claim is not a big problem for USA because all the corporates in the USA follows the hire and fire policy. Now if you focus on the Europe, you will find that the GDP of Europe has gone up by 0.3% and the employment has also up by 0.5% in Euro area. Though 0.3% GDP growth is very nominal, but still it is not in the negative zone, and that shows that Europe is improving gradually and the employment is also increasing in Europe. That is a good sign for the economy, and that is saying that the economy is not going to go under recession. And in the same way, in European Union, the GDP has gone up by 0.4% and the employment also has gone up by 4%. And that also proves that both the European Union and the Euro area is not going to go under recession. Similarly, in India, our own GDP is also at positive zone. Though the GDP growth has fallen down to 4.1%, but still it is not in the negative zone. And according to the report of National Statistics Office, growth projection of Indian GDP has been cut down from 8.9% to 8.7%, but still if it happens, then also the economy will never be in the recession. And if you consider the second GDP prediction of CRISIL like NSO, they have also cut down India's projection from 8.7% GDP growth to 7.3%. And both these predictions are saying that whatever may be the condition, but Indian GDP is not going to go under the recession because it is not would be closing in the negative zone, and it will not be showing the negative growth in upcoming 2 quarters back to back. So that means the Indian economy is also not going to go under recession. Similarly, in the front of unemployment rate, the unemployment rate of India has gone down to 8.2% 2% in the month of January, February and March 2022 according to the NSO report. This is also a good news because less unemployment rate increases the personal consumption, and the increase of personal consumption increases the economical growth. In this graph, you will see that the unemployment rate of India in the month of July 29th of 2016 was 8.25%, and among which the urban unemployment rate was 10.68% and the rural unemployment rate was 7.09%. And during the COVID lockdown, due to the lockdown restriction in the month of May 22 of 2020, the unemployment rate of India had gone up to 24.25%, and the largest contributor was urban area, where the unemployment rate was 26% and the rural area unemployment rate was 23.49%. And after the lockdown restriction was over, in the month of June 9, 2021, the unemployment rate of India was 12.66%, and at that time the urban unemployment rate was 15.47% and the rural unemployment rate was 11.41%. And after the COVID lockdown restriction, this was the second highest ever unemployment rate been recorded by the Indian history. And after that, the unemployment rate of India has gone down to 7.6%, whereas the urban unemployment rate has been recorded as 7.4% and the rural unemployment rate was recorded at 7.7%. Now we will focus on the inflation rate. Now if you see the inflation rate of USA, you will find that it has gone up from 5.4% in the month of June 2021 to 8.6% in the month of May 2022. This unexpected inflation has happened because of some specific reasons, and the number one reason is increase of energy prices. The overall energy prices of USA has increased by 34.6%, and the gasoline price has increased by 48.7%, where the fuel price has increased by 106.7%. That is the largest ever growth that has been recorded in the price of oil. Then the next thing is the increasing price of natural gas, that has increased by 30.2% since July 2008. Because of the increase of energy prices, the prices of other products like food products, eggs, poultry and other items has also increased and contributed in the inflation of USA. Similarly, if we consider the inflation rate of euro and euro area, we will see that the inflation rate of euro and euro area is standing at 8.1% presently, and among which the major contributor is also the energy segment. In this chart that shows the annual inflation of euro and euro area in the month of May 2022, you will see that the annual price of energy has increased by 39.2% compared with 37.5% in the month of April. And here also the main reason for the headline inflation is the increasing price of energy and oil products. And it has happened because of the war between Russia and Ukraine, and euro area is the major importer of Russian oils, and many sanctions on Russia from the western part of the world has restricted eurozone to import more oil from Russia, and that has increased the price of the oil, and that is contributing in the inflation of eurozone. Now if we consider the CPI inflation of India, you will see that the Indian inflation at 8-year high and now standing at 7.79% in the month of April 2022. So the Reserve Bank of India has increased the repo rate by 40 basis points last week, but still this inflation rate is not coming under control. And this Indian inflation, food price inflation has surged to 17 months high of 8.38% in April from 7.68% in the March 2022. Rural inflation has also increased and now is standing at 8.38% in the month of April 2022. And the urban inflation was also at its 18 months high level of 7.09%. And this thing need to be mentioned that the last time the headline retail inflation was recorded at 8.33% in May 2014. In India also, the major reason for the inflation is increasing price of crude oil. This chart in front of you clearly shows how the Indian inflation is getting affected because of the crude oil prices. When the crude oil price stay at $85, the CPI or consumer price index increases by 59 basis point, and similarly the wholesale price index increases by 137 basis point. When the crude oil prices stay at $100, the consumer price index increases by 147 basis point. Similarly, the wholesale price index increases by 343 basis point. And when the crude oil prices stay at $120, then the consumer price index increases by 264 basis point and the wholesale price index increases by 618 basis point. Here also the main key reason for the Indian inflation is oil. Until and unless the oil prices goes down, it is very hard to curb the inflation in India. And the oil price cannot go down until and unless all the sanctions from the Russian oil is totally withdrawn from the western part of the world and the European Unions. Because Russia is the second highest ever oil producing country in the world. Most of the people wrongly believe that the Middle East is the main producer of oil and natural gas of the world, but they are totally wrong. In this chart, you can clearly see that the major oil producing country in the world is United States, that produces 14.5% of the total oil produced in the world. And the second oil producing country in the world is Russia, that produces 13.1% of the total oil produced in the world. And then the third country is Saudi Arabia, that produces 12.1% of the total oil produced in the world. United States produce 1,15,67,000 barrel per day, while the Russia produces 1,05,03,000 barrel per day. And third number comes with Saudi Arabia, that produce 1,22,05,000 barrel per day. And here is the surprising thing, that is whatever oil United States produce, it consumes more than that. Though United States produce 1,15,67,000 barrel per day, but still after consuming all those oils, they need to import more than 8 million barrels of oil per day. So United States is unable to provide crude oil in the world. Whereas being the second largest producer of oil and natural gas in the world, Russia produces and exports maximum of its production to Europe and other part of the world. So the one country that can solve the oil price problem in the world is Russia. So the conclusion is this: if the oil price comes under control, then all the other major economic parameters will also come under control, and we will be successfully avoid the recession once again, and sustainable economy is not far away from this level. And additionally, the strong US dollar is going to help US a lot, because it is going to reduce its current account deficit and it is going to make imports cheaper, and that basically is going to increase its industrial production and domestic consumption. So that's it for today. In my next video, I'll be discussing why and how the strong US dollar is going to help US a lot.